Hey there, welcome back to the cafe. So we've got eco dyeing season coming soon, and I'm really excited to do a bunch of papers for that this summer and spring. But I wanted to pop in real quick and just show you how I iron my papers. I've got this little paper kit I just did of rusted papers with a little bit of spattered gold and black on them. They're very cool. I'll flip through these at the end. And all I do is this: I take a few pieces of legal size paper, and then I have a nice thick terry cloth towel, and then just an old beat up tablecloth that is really dingy and messed up and needs to be washed. But until I get to that, it's not a problem. I just throw these down. Ironing paper is so fast and so easy. I can do a huge batch really quick. And then all I do is just run over this, and as you can see, my papers have been used over and over again, and you know, I don't like to waste, so I use my stuff as much as I can. That's why I like to do all my collage gluing on poster boards, stuff like that. But anyway, this is really grungy and quite dirty. Look at how dirty that side is. So what you want to do is, these are clean. I haven't had any ill effects from this, but you can always put down a couple clean ones. And then I really do, you want to definitely flip it over to the back side and get the majority of the heat on the back side. Now with these rusted papers, after I finished painting them and letting them dry, I did rinse them really well, because they have, you know, rust tends to get a little bit of residue, so no big deal, just give them a rinse. I like to use cookie sheets. I have a whole stack of cookie sheets for eco dyeing that I got at the dollar store, and they work perfect. And if you want rusted papers, those cookie sheets rust up really thick, so you can even just put paper on them. Maybe I'll just make a video about that later. The area where I make these papers, the lighting is really rough. So I'm gonna work on that and get it set up to where I can show you how to make these papers. It's a very simple process, a very fun process. And since I'm showing them to you now, I'll be sure to make this a priority and get this video out, because I'd like to do another batch of them. I've got 14 here, and I'm gonna make a paper kit out of these, so they'll be available in my Etsy shop. I'll throw the link down below for you. And the next batch I make, I will be sure to film it and show you. But this is how simple it is. It goes so fast. You can do a ton of pages really quick, and then have yourself the most beautiful collage paper, nice and smooth. And I love hand painted paper. I love eco dyed paper. I love it all. The texture of the paper after you have messed with it and ironed it it's such a cool thing, you know. I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It feels really cool, and it's really nice to work with. I'm just working on very inexpensive printer paper right here, and I love to make collage sheets out of printer paper because it's thin. You can do a lot of layering with it, and it's a beautiful paper to work with, and it's really inexpensive. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and then I'll be right back to do a quick flip through. Here these are all ironed up now, and they just feel so nice. I really do love to use printer paper for most stuff. I want to be doing a lot of eco dyeing with printer paper this summer. It's really difficult to work with when it's wet, but it's oh, the results. I mean, look, you get such good prints on printer paper. Imagine that, right? But it's funny. I think about paper a lot, about how I think about people. There's so many similarities. Like thick, I use the thick watercolor paper. It can take all media and you can throw anything at it, but it's really hard to collage with. So, you know, you can work with it, but you have to kind of adapt to its working style. And then mixed media paper is so just amazing to work with. It takes all media, it's thinner, it's easier to collage with, it's really easy to work with, it's really forgiving, my favorite kind, and my favorite kind of people too. But there's something to be said about more fragile paper. Printer paper is so really requires such a gentle touch when it's wet, and then when it's dry and done and ironed, you can manhandle the heck out of printer paper, and it takes it beautifully. And then tissue paper is, oh my gosh, do you have anybody in your life who's just really fragile and really gentle and really requires a gentle hand? Oh, there goes my phone, sorry. But they're worth it, so you do it. You know what I mean? You do it because some people are just a little bit more fragile, right? But the results you get from having a relationship with those people is so worth it. And that's tissue paper for me. It is so fragile, but the results are they are in a world and a category all their own. Tissue paper is. Same with printer paper. I feel that way about printer paper too. And then there's some papers out there that are so cheap and so fragile and so bitchy and so you can't do anything with them. And those papers I walk away from. Those kind of people I walk away from too. You know, you gotta be able to get something out of the deal, right? I mean, it's got to be a mutually beneficial situation. So I'm always thinking about that, and I've always wanted to share it, and I was just thinking about it when I hit record, so I thought I'd share it with you. This is a good time to do it. So these pages are pretty cool. So many focal points when you start tearing into this stuff. I really love what happened here with the black paint. So yeah, the area I filmed these in is pretty dark, and I will get on that and make that work. I have all my lights set up in another area, so it's a matter of maneuvering stuff and just getting that space to work for these kinds of videos. But in the meantime, this is in my Etsy shop if you really like it, and I hope you make some of these. This is a blast. It's a very quick and easy, fun way to get a lot of paper. So you can get so many focal points out of these and really have a good time with them, and even add more media, paint, whatever you want to do on top of this, mark making, drawing, markers, whatever you want. So I'm really glad you stopped by today, and I hope you like this, and I'll see you very soon. Have a good one.